Having followed a trail of unmistakable leads, Officer Price, Officer Grimes, and Georgie were in Kansas.
The trail ends right here.
Georgie, who was still unable to talk due to a recent jaw surgery, and now unable to move or communicate in any way after his run-in with a Lucas-manifested polar bear, could not communicate his true feelings about Officer Price's and Officer Grimes' investigation techniques. Just earlier this week, a polar bear dragged him through icy waters in her maw and threw him into a cave full of ice cubes and polar bear cubs, who chewed on his jaw wire and then yanked off his shoe as unknowing ice harvesters loaded the ice cubes onto a truck, along with Georgie, and dropped him off in a grocery store parking lot, where they delivered the ice. He still preferred that over this.
Sir, I mean, Georgie and I collectively had a thought about this trail of leads and what we're doing in Kansas. I was wondering if maybe we should go back to the airport.
I've had an idea. We're going back to the airport.
What Price did not want to admit was that he thought California started with a K, hence why the Kansas abbreviation confused him. Georgie could not open his jaw to say anything, and Grimes was just about as likely to bring it up as Georgie. So, the trio went back to the airport, where they went through security for their flight to LAX.
Hey, it took me 20 minutes to get that suitcase closed.
The TSA agent, dealing with people like this every day, said nothing, and continued to search Price's stuffed bag with gloved hands. Georgie and Grimes were already past the security checkpoint.
Grimes, don't just stand there while you're waiting. Get me a coffee.
The plane's boarding now, sir. Special assistants, young children, and veterans.
Did I stutter?
But, sir, Georgie can't fold forward, and therefore can't sit. He needs special assistance.
What are you insinuating, Grimes? That you'll leave your fearless leader behind? You'll never find heart without me. Jesus, Grimes! Get me a coffee or you're fired! What, did you find a bomb in there?
The TSA agent eyed him, and promptly, shouting came from all directions, and Price's hands were tied behind his back. Grimes and Georgie watched from the other side, and couldn't come back due to a no-entry sign. Or wouldn't. Because Georgie heard Price's threat, and he stood still.
Zone 2 is now boarding.
TSA took one weapon after another out of Price's luggage.
I'm an FBI agent, sir. Well, my ID is in the suitcase.
After Price had dealt with law enforcement, he dropped his bag, about 30 pounds lighter, at the feet of Grimes, who sat beside Georgie at the gate, which was now devoid of people.
We'll have to find means to detain Lucas Hart beside violence. But that's a noble cause.
Price sniffed the air.
Where's my coffee, Grimes?
It got cold, so I threw it away.
Grimes!
I'm going!
And get us tickets back to Alaska. I want my wife's roast beef.
So Grimes went to get another cup of coffee for Price.
That'll be $3.65. Sir?
While the cashier waited for Grimes to respond, Grimes stared at a magazine on display. It was a Los Angeles culture magazine, with a picture of a cabin-like psychic shop covered in snow. Some headline about lawsuits, and a man out front, blurry in motion, who looked an awful lot like Lucas Hart. Don't worry. Episode 3. Jovie suffers from indigestion. Back at Macho Man Ski Resort, Lucas was fed up with his and Ayesha's arrangement. But as soon as he woke up on the psychic shop floor, she was already up and heading out the door.
Ayesha, I have to talk to you about something before... Ayesha.
I need some coffee before I can deal with this, Lucas.
Ugh, we have to get rid of these things. Don't you have any bug spray? Heavy-duty fly swatters? Ayesha!
Just then, Jovie and her lawyer, Steve, walked past them on the deck.
Lucas, have you been sleeping in the psychic shop? You know, we have a perfectly good guest room with sedatives in the AC unit.
See, I was about to explain why I can't stay in your guest room, but it seems like you already get it.
Lucas and Jovie had finally started to get along, now that Jovie knew about Lucas's condition.
Really, I'm just trying to be, hospitalier. Ah! These crows have a bounty on me!
Jovie found any form of confrontation easier in other languages.
And I appreciate that. And I hear you. From my perspective, I just want to express that I am trying my best not to witness what your home life looks like, so that I won't be afraid of it and ruin everything.
Jesus Christ, you two sound like you're in couples counseling.
All right, Miss Celestial Prophetess. You can get back to listening to the stars, which doesn't involve any expertise in relationships, and I can get back to dealing with this hopeless lawsuit and check if the ski lift really does have a machinery problem that will financially ruin me and go to the stupid gym with stupid Steve. Sorry. I really hate mornings, and the crows won't leave me alone, and I have this stupid stomachache, and...
Steve, on Jovie's side, elbowed her.
I have officially just run out of apology time in my schedule. Apologize later!
I'll see you at lunch. 1 p.m., right?
Fiddle shits. J'ai oublié. Yeah, probably. Depends on the ski lift and the gym and stuff.
I've found that it's easier to get her to be direct when you talk in another language.
Oh, hey, fiancé!
Can't talk right now, Dave!
Jovie and Steve ran off, leaving Dave hanging. Lucas turned to Ayesha to continue his confrontation, but she was already halfway through the door to the cafe.
Coffee first.
The day that we made our agreement, you said you'd take me to the doctor as soon as you had a following.
You're right. I have a following now. Let's get you to the doctor. How about tomorrow?
Wait, stop. That's not what I meant.
Ah, that's what I thought. You don't want to go to the doctor.
Don't put words in my mouth. I have way too much to fix before that. What if it's a surgery and I'll be out for weeks? Oh my god, what if it's a brain surgery?
Your heart rate is 175 BPM.
The point is, this agreement is not working. You can't make me injure minors. I made our agreement so that I would stop destroying things, not so that I could destroy my sister's ski resort and a high school toboggan team with it.
Well, you were gonna do that anyway.
Your heart rate is 195 BPM.
Oh god, help me!
You want to fix all this stuff. Fine, let's fix all this stuff. Close your eyes.
I don't trust you!
I'll say something scary if you don't.
Lucas closed his eyes,
Spiders!
Ah, you tricked me!
and with his hands on the cafe counter, Lucas felt a tickle.
Lizards.
Ah!
Now open your eyes.
He did. It was a lizard, chewing on something like Pac-Man. The spider was nowhere to be seen. Ayesha picked up the lizard and threw it in her bag.
Your power just saved you.
In the operating room of the ski lift, Jovie and Steve stared at a puzzle of wires behind a panel.
Berch.
What does that mean?
It's French for barf.
Steve handed her a granola bar.
What's that for?
You didn't eat breakfast. You need to eat breakfast, especially before we work out.
How'd you know that? Creep.
Why is that so egregious? I just know you. And I know you probably didn't eat breakfast.
Thanks. But honestly, when I said barf, I really meant that I'm nauseous. I'm supposed to get lunch with Lucas today. And I shouldn't have let Machinery Co. do the construction. Should have known their name was too boring to be real.
It's fine. It just might mean we'll be here a while before we get to the gym.
Oh, great. And I will be making awkward amends with my brother another time.
What is with those crows out there?
They're with me.
Ever since the incident in which Lucas caused Dave to dangle off a cliffside, Lucas started wearing multiple layers of coats to cushion his falls whenever chance led him to spend any time on the slopes. He came today because Ayesha gave him a new tool to manage his condition, and he just had to make sure he tested it out in a place of little consequence.
Hey, bro!
Your heart rate is 200 BPM.
The name of the game was Damage Control, and given the recent ski lift malfunction that injured an entire high school toboggan team, Lucas took it upon himself to practice his affectation here, beneath the broken ski lift, surrounded by a crime scene's worth of yellow caution tape. The seats on the ski lift all dangled from a loose wire, like a bike chain that has come loose. Snow piled up on them like mountain crests. Lucas sat on the peak of the slope.
What if the ski lift started working again? Ah, scary! I would be terrified if the ski lift suddenly started working again. Wouldn't that be terrible? Ah, oh god, I'm terrified!
Your heart rate is 120 BPM.
Aw,
Good job.
Reversing his fears wouldn't be so easy. With little time to spare before his lunch date with Jovie, he scooted on his butt down the mountain. Meanwhile, Jovie rushed to the parking lot to drive to the gym, passing the psychic shop on the way.
Ah! Get off of me! These birds are worse than Javert! It was only a loaf of bread, you fuck tanks!
I sense avoidance and guilt.
Ayesha, as much as I would love to hear your disguised insults, I am late to the gym.
Someone's been cranky lately.
Lately, you've been around.
Ah, yes, I was correct. What I was wrong about, I'll admit, is that I thought you were supposed to be at lunch with Lucas right now. He was excited about it.
He can tell me about that himself. But, in the meantime, just tell him things are crazy right now. I hardly have time to shower. I find time, of course. Just tell him I'll reschedule to tonight. No, not tonight. I might actually have a 10-minute break on Sunday next week. All right, better run before I throw open the deck. I think I ate something.
There are multiple reasons beyond a person's diet for indigestion. 1, stress. 2, resentment. 3, pregnancy. 4, pining. Oftentimes, they're linked. Have you considered why you might have overbooked yourself the same week your brother came back into your life?
I assume you're aware of his condition, which causes him to manifest bad things to happen? Okay, I have multiple disasters to clean up behind him, so forgive me if I'm not super stoked about clearing my schedule for him.
Oh my dear, you are a reservoir of passive aggression. How desperately I want to tear your walls down. Come do a session with me.
Oh, look at the time.
Wait! I have something for you.
Will it take -5 seconds?
Time is incalculable in my planes.
Ayesha ran inside, and then came back out with a brown paper bag, which she put in Jovie's hand.
This had better not be a crystal. Dave will choke on it.
Take explanations as a source of peace. To know is to take a step closer to the solution.
Jovie got in her car, chucked the paper bag into the passenger seat, and turned the key in the ignition. But just before she began to back out of her parking spot, she stepped on the brake and pulled Ayesha's gift out of the bag.
I am going to murder Ayesha Star Searcher.
As Clark fitted skis for a long line of dumbasses, Dave appeared at the front of the line.
What's gnarly, Clark?
Please don't make me converse with you. Just hand over your skis.
Oh, man, that's what they call a misunderstanding in Cheyenne, Wyoming, where I come from. I haven't any skis.
Then why did you wait in the ski fitting line?
Because I have a question for you, my man.
I'm busy fitting skis. Next customer.
Well, man, don't be so hasty. I was wondering, where's Jovie?
You're the fiancé. Why would I know? Did you not hear me the first time? Next customer.
Oh, is he done? Should I...
Give me your skis.
Clark adjusted skis as Dave leaned over the counter between Clark and the customer.
Look, man, I know metaphorically I should know where Jovie is all the time, but these days she's been working so much that she's spending more time with her lawyer. And he's smarter than me. But the worst part is that his biceps are bigger than mine in circumference. And if Jovie likes my biceps, she'd love his biceps.
Dave dropped his head against the table.
Oh, God, I bet they're together right now.
Ah! Why isn't the punching bag moving?
It's moving a little.
Don't patronize me, Steve, lawyer man. If that's even your real name.
It's not. Don't punch me, but shouldn't you be at lunch with your brother?
The grind never stops.
Jovie, this gym day is not essential. You know that's true because I'm saying it. It pains me to cancel, but you're scaring me, and it's making me think that maybe you should give him a chance. Jovie, I know you can hear me. Jovie!
This wouldn't be happening if my biceps were just 1 centimeter thicker.
As soon as Clark finished adjusting the customer's skis, the customer yanked her waiver out from underneath Dave's face and bolted from the fitting room.
Listen, Dave. It's not your biceps she's got a problem with. This where's Jovie thing is not a good look. It's unattractive. You have to have some hobbies besides getting concussions, wondering where your fiancé is, and bothering me. Next customer.
Oh, should I wait for...
Get out, Dave. Find something else to do. And by the way, your face is bleeding.
Hobbies.
So, Dave went home and looked up hobbies to impress girls, and thus his day of research began. Meanwhile, at 1:45 p.m., after waiting for 45 minutes, Lucas ordered another iced tea. Jovie and Steve were about to finish their sets. Jovie lay down on the floor.
I hate the gym! I can't believe you made me do this!
You know why we go to the gym?
He pulled her to her feet.
Because it's good for us. Because we have to take care of ourselves first. And you know why this was so hard?
I have a parasite.
You didn't eat breakfast this morning. You probably hardly slept last night. You haven't socialized with anyone besides me in weeks. You're not taking care of yourself. Have you ever heard flight attendants announce their safety procedures? Put your oxygen mask on.
Other people's faces. Switch it around. Trade them like Pokemon cards.
Jovie.
I'm sorry. I'm really nauseous today. I need to go pee, shit, or barf at the will of the universe's fortune-telling orb.
Are you nervous? Is that what this is about? I think you should just go meet your brother.
She walked away and stopped.
I appreciate your words of wisdom, Sage Steve, but sleeping and socializing and eating just sound like more things to take care of. Everything's falling apart. When Lucas is in my life, everything falls apart, and if I slow down, I have to stop tiptoeing around him and do something about it. And God knows I can't take care of one more thing.
She went into the bathroom, grabbing her purse from the cubbies on the way. She felt around inside her purse to make sure she still had Ayesha's paper bag. She peed all right, on a stick.
You don't get to know things about me before I know them myself, Miss Star Searcher. And just because I'm doing what you said to do with the item you gave me doesn't mean I believe that what you said to do is the right thing to do. Bitch.
But she didn't want to know. She threw it away. Re-entering the bathroom, Jovie peeked in the trash.
Puta madre.
Get in the car. You need a break. I'm taking you to your lunch with your brother.
No!
You came.
She came all right, but certainly not on time. It was 2:30 p.m., an hour and a half after they'd planned the lunch. Steve had dropped her off at the cafe, and through the window she watched his car pull onto the main street and disappear.
What are you looking at?
Huh?
Your heart rate is 160.
Is there someone behind me with a gun?
What? No.
Lucas looked behind him, just to be sure.
Your heart rate is 130 BPM.
So,
But Jovie was looking out the window again, at a crow, pecking at the window.
oh god, this isn't going well, is it?
Your heart rate is 140
Ah,
BPM.
damn it. I'm calm, I'm cool, just getting lunch with my sister.
Man, that thing's annoying. You can't ever turn it off?
Everything will explode.
Ah. God, I'm sorry. It's just been a long day. You don't want to hear about it. It'll scare you.
No, tell me.
You're not going to explode my ski resort, will you? Shit, shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't have. It's fine, though. I've got 60 BPM to listen. What's wrong?
It's nothing.
It's not nothing.
You're right, it's not. We're being realistic here.
There's gotta be something we can talk about. What do you want to talk about?
Well, Lucas, I'm pregnant. Ta-da!
Your heart rate is 270 BPM.
Oh god! A delicate fetus!
This theoretical outcome is exactly why Jovie said nothing.
What do you want to talk about? Dave? Maybe we could talk about him.
You don't want to talk about Dave.
And that's because Dave had been trying out new hobbies lately. Thanks to Dave, Jovie finally understood why there are danger disclaimers on chess sets. The piece he choked on came in a plastic bag that said, "Keep away from babies."
I'm a bad mother, is all.
Can I say something? Totally honest? You're marrying this guy?
Lucas, if I dumped him, I'd lose my deposit on the snow-resistant flowers.
He treats you like his mother.
Not my fault I've got these crazy maternal instincts.
But he's 27. He'll never learn to do his own laundry, he'll never move out of the house, and he won't come back and take care of you when you're old. Not to mention, with all the concussions he's getting, mentally he's basically Benjamin Button. I'm sorry, I'm overstepping.
This is golden rule blasphemy. How would you like to be compared to Benjamin Button?
I'm just saying, you grew up taking care of me. I thought it was the other way around, but you're right. You took care of me.
Thank you.
Lucas, finally, was acting like a big brother.
So, if I'm allowed, I just want you to spend the rest of your life with someone who can take care of you.
Like who?
You know.
Steve?
Lucas wiped the coffee off his face.
Overstepping again. Sorry.
No, it's funny. Steve, lawyer man? That's hilarious. You realize he made a 400-page action plan for the lawsuit. It includes famous presidential quotes in Berkshire swash font. You realize that?
Whatever you say. I just thought I was getting something. But I haven't been around people for a long time, so what do I know?
Jovie denied it, but maybe, deep down in her soul, in places she did not like nor plan to acknowledge, it was what she wanted to hear. The next morning, per Steve's rigid routine, she drove to the gym at dawn.
I hate getting up early. You can't make me get up early. I hate getting up early. I would never get up early. So why the hell am I up early? That control freak. I am turning around now. Right now. Now. Now.
When she arrived at the gym, she found him waiting for her outside, grumbling to himself and hugging his arms in the mist.
Okay. You don't have to wait outside for me. Now you look all sad and cold.
How are you doing? Better?
He leaned in to hug her. Jovie stepped back.
Whoa! I'm a soon-to-be-married man, Mr. Lawyer Woman.
Nothing you say makes sense.
Little did either of them know, Jovie's remark was based in truth. Once inside, they filled their water bottles. Or, Steve filled his 2 water bottles and handed one to Jovie.
I don't drink water. It gives me stitches.
And then they stretched. When Jovie realized that Steve's toe touching was just a little too close to hers, she got up and walked in any direction.
Okay, I'm all stretched.
But your wrists.
She changed direction.
The treadmill, it is.
So Jovie and Steve went on the treadmills. And, shortly after, Jovie moved on to the wrist-intensive battle ropes. Steve soon appeared on the floor and studied her form. So, she went limp.
What are you looking at?
Nothing. I'm not looking at anything. Continue.
Oh, look at me. I have bad form. Oh, Steve, please come help me fix my bad form because I am an oh-so-helpless lady.
To her dismay, he did. He came around behind her, brushing her arms, and moved her hands.
Just hold it like this.
And, with his arms around her, he froze there, a little too long.
Steve? Are you rebooting? Steve?
And they stood there. Neither of them moved. She glanced down at his hands over her wrists and pushed him off.
Okay, stop it!
Jeez, okay. Sorry. I didn't mean for it to be
She hoped he'd say it. She prayed to God he'd say it instead of her.
Misogynistic thing. I just didn't want you to hurt your wrists.
He didn't say it.
Well, too late. I didn't stretch my wrists, and now they're super injured. Look, they're totally limp. Guess I can't receive any more help on these.
And she walked off to the changing rooms.
Jovie, we still have at least 30 minutes to kill. You haven't done any arm exercises yet. Jovie, we have to follow through with the action plan.
That was it. Steve was dependable. Steve was a committer. Steve made the action plan. She stopped and turned around.
Jesus, is there something wrong?
It was her turn to say something. To say something serious. To tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
We're having an affair.
Except she said it in Spanish.
Nosotros estamos teniendo una aventura.
Yes, she had backed out of saying it in English, but she wasn't home free.
No. No lo estamos.
See, Steve knew multiple languages as well. For clarity of communication, which these two do not share, the following is an English translation of what they said in Spanish.
No. No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
That wouldn't hold in court. I mean, we've never...
Okay, fine. An emotional affair. But that's an affair. That's a type of affair.
Oh, you're kidding. It's one of those things where your joke is wrapped in so many layers of irony I can't keep up.
Steve, don't make me get into this. You know it's true.
You. Me. And you. Come on.
Ouch.
No, I didn't mean... It's just we spend every second together. Don't you think we would have figured this out by now? Plus, it's not like we enjoy the time we spend together. All we ever do is yell at each other, and you don't take care of yourself, so I'm constantly doing it for you, and oh my god, we're having an affair!
Thank you!
Being two busy people, neither Jovie nor Steve had the time nor bandwidth to comprehend their own emotions.
We're having an affair?
It's not something to smile about!
Right. This is unethical. You're with Dave, and we don't want Dave to get hurt.
This was an untrue statement, for complex psychological reasons on Jovie's side, and just a straight-up lie on Steve's, who dreamt of beating up Dave last night.
We can stop it here and still be in the right. Emotional affairs don't count. I'm sure I've heard that somewhere. We can just act like adults and never speak to each other again.
Okay, I am your lawyer.
We can just spend the same amount of time we've been spending together and just never touch each other.
Yes, agreed.
A hard rule. No touching. I don't care if I'm about to walk in front of a train, you don't pull me back.
Right, absolutely. No touching, just business. Does this agreement include the gym runs? I kind of like the gym runs. We have to discuss the details of this plan so I can revise the action plan.
Right. We have to make our boundaries clear. First of all, no touching. Second of all, no gym runs. But that's more flexible. It's more about the no touching part.
Yeah, that can be flexible. Because what if we run into each other at the gym?
Right, because I would totally go to the gym at 5 a.m. on my own accord. Point is, no touching.
No touching.
No touching.
Easy. For two self-aware people with self-restraint who just connected some dots. I had a dream about beating up Dave last night.
They stood there.
Well, I'd better go change in the old ladies' room now. Lots to do on those lawsuits. Can't waste time dilly-dallying on details about an action plan that now involves the romantic boundaries between two professionally related people.
And I, separately, had better go across the hall to the men's room where I will separately change away from you, my client, Jovie Hart.
And they looked at each other. And they looked at each other. And they looked at each other.
I'll, see you tomorrow for the, action plan. Page 17, section 6.
Steve said in English. For the sake of time, here is a sped-up version of what their conversation really sounded like. So Jovie headed off to the right, into the ladies' restroom, and Steve headed off to the left, into the men's restroom. What Steve forgot to account for is that they might run into each other again after changing.
Oh. The action plan doesn't cover this scenario.
You and your stupid action plan, just come here!
Lucas lay on the floor as Ayesha closed up the psychic shop.
I gave her advice, you hear that? I gave her advice, and she heard me out. I'm being a big brother. I'm being her big brother. And I just improved her life. Now she can dump Dave and marry Steve instead. I bet she broke up with Dave already. I haven't seen her all day.
Your heart rate is 135 BPM.
Any way you could keep one of the lights on?
Okay, kiddo.
Steve's a good fit for her. He's a cool guy. He's buff, but not too buff. Just the right amount of buff. It's calming. You know what I was thinking? If we had a family barbecue, Steve and I would be the ones to cool down and deep clean the grill in between burger batches. Ayesha?
Yeah?
Thank you for setting me up with the doctor. I was going to be alone my whole life. I'm ready to go. Tomorrow. Where are you going?
Ow.
Do you have a weird side hustle? Do you sell drugs? Are you going to go rob a bank? Do you assassinate people in your free time?
Relax, Lucas. It's something way less interesting than that. Just pretend it's, I don't know, improv.
I don't know anything about you.
Good night, Lucas.
Good night.
Ayesha drove down the mountain that night. In town, she pulled into a parking lot and pulled a large beanie over her head to hide her features. She checked her bag, took 3 deep breaths, and she got out of her car. She walked to a door and paused, fidgeting with the zipper on her sweater, and then she opened the door.
Hey, it's our chronically late fave. Everybody say, hey-o, birdie, birdie.
Hey-o, birdie, birdie.
We're playing remote, Birdie. Wanna hop in?
Put me in.
Ayesha came inside and stood on the sidelines, next to the improv class newbie.
All right, jump in when you're ready. And you too, noob. Just watch everybody else and you'll catch on. We are a supportive improv team. And play.
Excuse me, doctor. Have you seen my husband? The baby can't sleep without his alcohol.
No, ma'am, but I didn't finish my leftovers of fish fillet. Certainly made me sleepy. Does he like that?
Cut to the husband.
The newbie stepped forward onto the stage.
Honey? Where are you, honey? I can't find you. Honey?
At that moment, Ayesha realized that the newbie was Dave. Another improviser whispered in Ayesha's ear.
What's he doing? He's gotta justify it.
Honey? I can't find you. Honey?
Ayesha stepped onto the stage.
If I can't find a clean syringe, I'm gonna have to use a dirty one. Hey, who turned the lights off in this closet? Oh, hi there. You must be that husband all the doctors are looking for. Don't you have some substances to give your underage, newborn child?
Dave
recognized her.
Ayesha.
Well, come with me, sir.
I don't want to.
Now, why could that be?
Come on. Let's do something else instead because my wife, Jovie, is sleeping with the doctor. I don't want to see him. He's smarter than me and he's better than me in every way.
Dave fell to his knees. He shed a real tear.
Why would she do that to me? We vowed to be true to one another. Or we're about to. Jovie, why? Why have you forsaken me?
Come along now, sir. Your newborn child is waiting for you.
No, he's not.
Dave had violated the number one rule of improv. Yes, and.
Oh, you mean the newborn.
When Dave realized it was his joke the audience was laughing at, he thought, this felt just like doing jumping jacks with the paramedics. He realized, at heart, he was a performer.
Yes, that's the one. Come along now.
After the class, the troupe headed over to Fervor Cantina, the nearest bar.
Ayesha!
Shh!
What?
It's Birdie. I don't know where you got that other name from.
Oh, I thought you were someone else. Sorry about that. Bye.
Wait, come here. Yes, it's me. Just call me Birdie.
Dude, I didn't know you're an improv expert. You shined up there, like, metaphorically.
Thanks. I was in a troupe in college, and I've been performing since then. Since when have you been an improviser?
Based on his performance, she knew it was since today.
I dabble here and there. You know, skiing takes a lot of improvisation. Just yesterday, I did this to my ankle, completely spontaneously.
He rolled up his pant leg to show a huge leaf-bearing tree branch protruding from an infected wound in his shin.
Oh my god, how did you do that?
Well, I was trying to ricochet off of a tree, but I didn't quite get my skis sideways enough. I've been watering it in case it grows.
You know, over at the psychic shop I sell amethysts. They do wonders for plants.
I didn't know therapists sell rocks.
I am not a therapist.
Everyone says you're a therapist, and a really expensive one.
Well, tell everyone I'm not. I tell fortunes and sell expensive crystals. Therapists have licenses and crazy responsibilities.
Ayesha reached into her bag and pulled out an amethyst.
Would a therapist do this? It's on the house for the lectury.
Dude, it's purple! Thanks, man!
Don't sweat it. And, by the way, I watch surgeries on YouTube, but you might want to warn other people before you show them that, especially Lucas.
Back at the psychic shop, Lucas heard a familiar sound, an unexpected knock. The last time he heard an unexpected knock.
Your heart rate is 175.
He sat up from his blanket on the floor, breathing hard, as strips of light hit him through the blinds. He thought about burglars. By instinct, his hand went to the floor on his right side, where he usually kept his headphones, but he stopped himself. He thought about the strategy Ayesha taught him.
If it's a burglar, then I'll also think about the nails the burglars step on in Home Alone. Nails on the doorstep. Nails on the doorstep. Nails on the doorstep. Nails on the doorstep. Oh no! Nails on the doorstep!
Lucas?
He got up.
Jovie?
He went to the door, unlocked it, and opened it. And there was his sister, crying. She buried herself in his arms.
I did something bad. I did something really bad.
Lucas mustered up the courage to pat her on the back.
And I shouldn't be crying because it's me who did the bad thing, but I tried going home and moving past it, but every time I drove by, I started crying again. And then I kept driving for so long, I went through a whole tank of gas. And I shouldn't be sad now. I should feel like how villains feel because now I'm a bad person and I don't deserve a hug, but I'm sad and the stupid crows won't stop attacking me. This was just following me around now.
Careful, there might be nails on the doorstep.
Jovie pulled away, and he saw a flicker of disappointment in her face.
Let me turn that off. What happened?
I can't tell you that.
I have 50 BPM to listen.
Are you sure?
He listened.
It's Steve and I. And
She almost said it. The other thing.
we adulterated.
He pulled her in for another hug. She cried.
I just wanted someone to take care of me for once. But now I'm a bad person.
You can still have a hug.
Returning home, Dave tried to open the front door, but it was locked.
Jovie never locks the door.
Since he didn't have a key, he crawled in through the back window.
Jove, I'm home. And I have a new hobby. And it's super hot. Jovie?
Hey, thanks for listening. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave a comment, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Don't Worry is created by me, Kiana Brizendine, written and directed by Kiana Brizendine, Liam Stauffer, and Rowan Levy, produced by Kiana Brizendine and Leah Jackson, scored by Minar Hashmi, edited by Kyle Brizendine, Liam Stauffer, Rowan Levy, and Kiana Brizendine, and sound effects by Rowan Levy, and last but not least, assistant directed by Lucia Lifland and Bella Reese. Starring Benjamin Hale as narrator, Chase Wayne Duffy as Lucas, Kiana Brizendine as Jovie, Marissa Salette as Ayesha, Miles O'Rourke as Officer Price, Calvin Pineda as Officer Grimes, Rowan Levy as Georgie, Leo Riley as Steve, Asher Wright as Dave, Bryce Fody as Clark, Anthony Leo as improv instructor, and Lucia Lifland as the Pulse Watch.